Children's behavior is another reason that teachers tell me they feel like the classroom maybe isn't for every child. And there certainly are some challenging behaviors that we encounter with some children. But remember, we know that all children really want to do well and to build relationships and function successfully in the classroom and society as a whole. So when we're approaching children and their behavior issues, we have to keep that lens in mind. We have to keep that at the forefront of our minds. So there are some children who are destructive in the classroom, who can escalate in an emotional situation, and their impulsive response to that is to destroy something in the classroom or throw something or whatever. And this is challenging, no question. But it's not impossible to handle. Of course, we need to keep the classroom safe and the other children safe, but we also can really think through what is triggering this escalation for this child. What is getting in the way of this child being able to communicate their emotions effectively? So it goes back to that relationship approach with children, knowing that child, connecting with that child, and figuring out what's getting in the way of this child being able to navigate these emotions or their frustration in a more in a more respectful manner of the rest of the classroom. So as challenging as this can be for us, we can really tackle some of these behaviors with children by building relationship and building a collaborative approach to how we're going to help them manage this. Because think about a child and how devastating that would feel to be triggered to a destructive behavior and then get through that sort of fight or flight emotion time and realize what you've done. And for most children, that's a really devastating experience. They may hide it, they may couch it, they may put on bravado and pretend like they don't care, but they all do. It doesn't feel good to lose control of yourself and have to deal with the repercussions of that and see that you've destroyed the classroom. That doesn't feel good to anyone. And so we have to help children recognize the triggers and support them in trying to head that off, giving them other ways to manage those emotions. The same is true for children who are violent. And so it may be that you have children who lash out at other children or at you. I mean, I have certainly been attacked more than once by some of my students. And it's stressful and it's worrisome and it's frustrating. But, I remember one instance in particular where I had a child, prone to escalate toward violence. And she was angry at me for whatever I had done, probably tried to set a limit, and it escalated really fast. And I saw her get ready to slap me, and I really tried hard to stop that because, not just that I didn't want to be slapped, but I knew how terribly she would feel afterwards. And she did. She slapped me good and hard across the face. And it was painful, but even more painful was her sort of remorse and embarrassment and shock at what she'd done. And so children, I believe deeply in my heart, and I know that children don't want to hurt others and don't want to be what we would call bad or make bad choices. And so we have to really get at the root of what's triggering, what's causing this, and how can we help them build better strategies for handling their frustration and do that in partnership with them. And so these children, it's not easy. I'm not ever going to say it's easy, but it's possible. We apply the same approaches and we puzzle through the best solutions alongside the child. And we have confidence and we display our confidence to them that we can come to a solution for this. You don't have to always feel this way. We can find ways that you'll be able to feel better about how you handle a lot of these emotions. Now, other children that we might have in our classroom are children with some diagnosed label. And historically, these diagnoses and these labels have been really important because they have allowed us to put into place specific sort of, mandated by law supports for children who have, some special needs. So labels have been important for that in the past and really have allowed children to get the services that they need. But we can't allow labels to define our approach to children. So autism spectrum disorder or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or obsessive compulsive disorder. I mean, listen to all of those labels, disorders. These are children that they're different. And it can be helpful to have those labels because it can help us tailor some of our approach to them, but we shouldn't allow those labels to define our approach to those children or to define our relationship with those children. Those labels can be tools to guide us in our work, but our work really has to at its heart be focused on that relationship with each child, the observation of each child, and the problem solving of how we can remove obstacles or build skills to surmount some of these obstacles, not just say, well, this child is autistic and therefore that is all I'm going to think about this child. So even when we're dealing with some significant sort of behavior issues with different children, we can still use our approach of building relationship with children, working collaboratively to solve some of the big issues that we're seeing, and having confidence that they can do it. It takes time, it takes patience, but it is possible. And it is sort of absolutely what our approach in Montessori education is, giving every child what they need when they need it.